Thank you for being here with me. This is my first day sharing the passages that are most prominent to me and my synthesis of the focus topics in book 33 of my Book a Week series, Khalil Gibran's The Prophet. I want to share something that is emerging for me on the subject of long-term committed romantic relationship as it relates to passion. I have myself been in a committed relationship for over 16 years. And what I experienced at the beginning of that relationship was a mind-opening, form-rocking, falling in love that made it feel so easy to expand, that made it feel inevitable to expand, that connected me with a sensation that I couldn't even remember what it was like not to expand. I wonder, as I observe many adult humans working through what it means to commit and what it means to, especially initially, have that sensation of passion that feels so ease-filled in the process of falling in love, to have that sensation muted even slightly. The fear that brings up about what that might mean, about the fate of the relationship, is so often misunderstood. As I invest more and more in my relationship and commitment to him, there is so much more to lose. And what I relate to in my experience and observation of myself in this commitment is that when I am wrapped in that fear, especially if it's not conscious yet, when I'm wrapped in that fear of how much I have to lose given how much I've invested in him, the passion that we associate with falling in love can be muted. And what I experience as a pattern through our marriage is that the way to revive and spark a flame in the passion is to face our fear, to let it emerge into our consciousness, to speak about it, to feel it, to engage with it. Once we engage with it, what comes parallel to it and wraps itself around it is gratitude. Because once I allow it to emerge into consciousness and admit that it is there, I'm permitting it to be there, I'm welcoming it in, and I'm noting that the reason I'm having it is beautiful and lovely. The reason that I'm having it is due to the depth of my interest in being with this person for the rest of my life. And what inevitably comes with that is immense gratitude. When that gratitude wraps itself around the fear, it's like I see a dance with them together. And the sensations of passion emerge again. Just as the capacity for my joy matches the capacity for my sorrow, just as my joy is my sorrow unmasked. Our capacity to continue to tap the depths of our passion and continue to explore how deep they can run matches the depths of our risk in investing and continuing to invest in love. I'm going to loop this around into my first reading for the day. I'm on page 6, and this is on the topic of love. For even as love crowns you, so shall he crucify you. Even as he is for your growth, so is he for your pruning. Even as he ascends to your height and caresses your tenderest branches that quiver in the sun, so shall he descend to your roots and shake them in their clinging to the earth. Like sheaves of corn, he gathers you unto himself. He threshes you to make you naked. He sifts you to free you from your husks. He grinds you to whiteness. He kneads you until you are pliant, and then he assigns you to his sacred fire, that you may become sacred bread for God's sacred feast. All these things shall love do unto you, that you may know the secrets of your heart, and in that knowledge become a fragment of life's heart. But if in your fear you would seek only love's peace and love's pleasure, then it is better for you that you cover your nakedness and pass out of love's threshing floor into the seasonless world, where you shall laugh, but not all of your laughter, and weep, but not all of your tears. Love gives not but itself, and takes not but from itself. Love possesses not, nor would it be possessed, for love is sufficient unto love. Without further ado, I'll move on toward today's readings. Enjoy.
Page 9. Your children are not your children. They are the sons and daughters of life's longing for itself. They come through you, but not from you. And though they are with you, yet they belong not to you. You may give them your love, but not your thoughts, for they have their own thoughts. You may house their bodies, but not their souls, for their souls dwell in the house of tomorrow, which you cannot visit, not even in your dreams. You may strive to be like them, but seek not to make them like you, for life goes not backward, nor tarries with yesterday. You are the bows from which your children as living arrows are sent forth. The archer sees the mark upon the path of the infinite, and he bends you with his might, that his arrows may go swift and far. Let your bending in the archer's hand be for gladness, for even as he loves the arrow that flies, so he loves also the bow that is stable. Page 17. Your joy is your sorrow unmasked, and the selfsame well from which your laughter rises was oftentimes filled with your tears. And how else can it be? The deeper that sorrow carves into your being, the more joy you can contain. Is not the cup that holds your wine the very cup that was burned in the potter's oven? And is not the lute that soothes your spirit the very wood that was hollowed with knives? When you are joyous, look deep into your heart. You shall find it is only that which has given you sorrow that is giving you joy. And when you are sorrowful, look again in your heart, and you shall see that in truth you are weeping for that which has been your delight. Some of you say, joy is greater than sorrow, and others say, nay, sorrow is the greater. But I say unto you, they are inseparable. Together they come. And when one sits alone with you at your board, remember that the other is asleep upon your bed. Verily, you are suspended like scales between your sorrow and your joy. Only when you are empty are you at standstill and balanced. When the treasure keeper lifts you to weigh his gold and his silver, needs must your joy or your sorrow rise or fall. Page 19. Have you beauty that leads the heart from things fashioned of wood and stone to the holy mountain? Tell me, have you these in your houses? Or have you only comfort and the lust for comfort, that stealthy thing that enters the house a guest and then becomes a host and then a master? Ay, and it becomes a tamer, and with hook and scourge makes puppets of your larger desires. Though its hands are silken, its heart is of iron. It lulls you to sleep only to stand by your bed and jeer at the dignity of the flesh. It makes mock of your sound senses and lays them in thistledown like fragile vessels. Verily, the lust for comfort murders the passion of the soul, and then walks, grinning in the funeral. But you, children of space, you restless in rest, you shall not be trapped nor tamed. Page 23. Even as the holy and the righteous cannot rise beyond the highest which is in each one of you, so the wicked and the weak cannot fall lower than the lowest which is in you also. And as a single leaf turns not yellow, but with the silent knowledge of the whole tree, so the wrongdoer cannot do wrong without the hidden will of you all. Like a procession, you walk together towards your God-self. You are the way and the wayfarers. And when one of you falls down, he falls for those behind him, a caution against the stumbling stone. Aye, and he falls for those ahead of him who, though faster and surer of foot, yet removed not the stumbling stone. This is my final reading for the day. I'm on page 28. And my heart bled within me, for you can only be free when even the desire of seeking freedom becomes a harness to you, and when you cease to speak of freedom as a goal and a fulfillment. You shall be free indeed, when your days are not without a care, nor your nights without a want and a grief, but rather when these things girdle your life, and yet you rise above them naked and unbound. And how shall you rise beyond your days and nights unless you break the chains which you at the dawn of your understanding have fastened around your noon hour? In truth, that which you call freedom is the strongest of these chains, though its links glitter in the sun and dazzle your eyes. And what is it but fragments of your own self you would discard that you may become free? If it is an unjust law you would abolish, that law was written with your own hand upon your own forehead.